In this video, we're going to learn about the pivot longer function. So let's have a look at the data. So this is the file that we're going to use, and this is example 1. Okay, have a look at this thing. This data is not tidy. Why? Have a look. Ted, Robin, these are basically names, right? So according to tidy data set, the rule of tidy data set, this should be under a column called, let's say, names, and these are basically grades. So there should be a variable called grade. So our desired structure or the shape of our data would be, for example, it would be course, which is given, let's say, R and Python, and there should be a column called name and a column called grade. So, and the rows should represent the observation. For example, if it's R and if the person is Ted and his grade is, let's say, 17. Okay, all right, let's have a look at our studio and how to do it. Okay, so we need the package, basically we need the package tidyr, but it's already included in tidyr, so I'm just going to use the library called tidyr, so you don't need to load the package called tidyr. Since we will be dealing with Excel file, we need to use the library called, the package called read Excel. Okay, alright, so I have put my data in the data folder. So I hope you know how to create a project. So there is a data folder called data, and my file name is this, and I have specified the sheet that I'm going to use. Okay, let me run it. Okay, oops, something is wrong because my file is already open, so let me close it. Okay, now it should work. Okay, there you go. So let's have a look. It's the same thing what we just saw in Excel. So we want to have, we are basically aiming for 3 columns: course, name, and grade. Okay, all right, so let me take the BF data frame, and I'm going to use the pipe operator, and to achieve our desired shape of our data, we need to use the function called pivot longer. Okay, we need to supply 3 arguments. The first one is columns. With this argument, we need to specify the columns that are giving us trouble, or in other words, the columns that need to be reshaped. So let me just have a look of the data frame in the console. So okay, here is the thing. So these are the columns that need to be reshaped. So basically columns 2 to 6, as you can see, it's a table. There are 2 rows and 6 columns. So except for this column, the first column, these are the columns that need to be reshaped. So one way to indicate them is I can by column position 2 to 6. Okay, so these are the columns that are giving me problem. Next, I need to supply where this name should go. Okay, and the argument is names2. Quite naturally, the variable name should be name, because these are names. So I'm going to call it name. Okay, and the last argument is where should this value go. These are grades, so I'm going to call that variable grade. So value should go to grade. Now if I run the code, it should work. Okay, there you go, it has worked. Now the data is tidy. Okay, just before I say bye-bye, I want to mention that we can specify columns in many different ways. Let's have a look at the original data frame df. So here it is. So columns 2 to 6 were giving problems, so we can specify either by position or by names. How? I can say Ted to Lily. Lily is the last one. Lily. It should work. Okay, see, it works. Alternatively, what we can do, we can say here ignore column 1. So we use the minus sign and the position 1. So what it means, except column 1, rest are giving me problems, so reshape them. So if I run, here you go, it works. Alright, okay, see you in the next video, and it should be on pivot wider. Bye bye.